Hi chaps, MOP here from Beard, Biceps and Batchat. Today's video is going to focus on Wargaming's new announcement, which is War Stories with new campaign expansions and some Storyteller Bundles. So this got released today on the 17th of August, and essentially what this is an expansion to PvE, or the single player mode. Now, the reason Wargaming have done this is a little while ago they found a lot of new players when they come into the game. They don't try online play straight away. They go for the PvE stuff or or the single player stuff where they're playing against AI. And you've been on proving grounds, you know that can be a little bit tenuous, and it doesn't really show you too much of the game. So what they've decided to do is to expand upon that, make it more attractive, and hopefully look to not only get people trying the game, but to retain those people playing the game. Now, over the last 2 months, I think it is, there's been a couple of posts on the Wargaming forums that have been focusing on player numbers. They've broken it down by people that start the game, stay in the game, how long they play it for, what tier they get up to. I think it's really drawn a focus to Wargaming on, potentially they need to look at, one, expanding their current customer base or player base and customer base, but also look to provide something a little bit interesting. The multiplayer mode, from my point of view anyway, I find very interesting. Hopefully this expansion on the single player is very interesting as well. But let's delve into it a little bit. So what we have here is across all the consoles, that's PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, from August the 22nd, we're going to have War Stories. Now, War Stories is a story-driven campaign where the idea is you can hone your battle skills in, they call it thrilling scenarios. So the idea is you relive famous historical event, and they've done a really, really nice twist, which is you get to rewrite history and embark on alternative history campaigns. So that'd be very, very interesting to see how that plays out. I know a lot of people are very interested in the alternative history. If you've ever watched Man in the High Castle, which is a TV series on what would have happened if Germany won World War II as well as Japan, it's very, very interesting, and it'll be very interesting to see their take on it. So on release, we're going to have two campaigns available. The first is Brothers in Armour, and the second is Flashpoint in Berlin. So Brothers in Armour is, you're essentially going to step into the shoes of a US tank commander training a Soviet crew to operate the infamous M4 Sherman in essentially what is a new tutorial campaign. Obviously there is no sort of tutorial for World of Tanks. You kind of get in and you either find YouTube or the forums and you learn to improve that way. Otherwise, it can be a little bit difficult, except for the loading screen, to get hints and tips straight off the bat. So this will be really, really good. Now this is actually based historically because there was a Russian crew that trained up on American tanks. So again, that's really, really good. That's finally added. The next one we have for War Stories is Flashpoint Berlin. Now, essentially for this one, you're taking command of Western forces and you're fighting tooth and nail in the aftermath of the collapse of the Berlin blockade in this epic, story-driven, alternative history campaign. Sounds intense. It sounds really intense. So very much looking forward to this. Now, we've got two more coming in September and October 2017 respectively. The first is Operation Sea Lion, no information known yet, and we have Kennedy's War. So that'll be very, very interesting. That's all coming from the 22nd of August. Now, with the War Storyteller that we have coming, or War Stories that we have coming, we've also got some bundles. They're releasing the HMH Huntsman Centurion, the HMH M51 Super Sherman. My thoughts on the Centurion, I've already let people know. They're doing it at a fairly reasonable price this time, 9,300 gold. I still think it's a little bit steep for what is essentially a worse Centurion reskin. But, it's cheaper than it was. And the M51 Super Sherman, it's okay, but we've just had the Ravioli release, which is obviously a better version of the Super Sherman, which is a little bit cheaper. So, it's... If you want them, grab them. Not for me, I won't be grabbing those tanks. But we have some discounts on premium tanks. So we've got 30% gold discount on tier 5, tier 6, That's a Soviet, that is American, that is British tanks. We got 20% gold discount on tier 6 up to tier 8 tanks. Again, that's Soviet, American and British. Quite a few tanks for have a look at. Possibly the Super Persian with a 20% discount looks really, really good. That's probably something I'll have a little peek at as well. We've also got some new ops that are coming, but you know, nothing too crazy. Now, one of the interesting things about War Stories, which you're probably asking is, do you play a single player? Yes, you do, but you can also have a friend who can come in and they can play it with you as well. Now, one of the really interesting things about this is the crew you use in the War Stories mode or the single player mode, you can transfer over and use that in multiplayer, so you can get all the EXP you want on War Stories, you know, get 6 cents up nice and quickly, hint hint, and then move it over to multiplayer, so you start with 6 cents and a crew, which is very useful the higher you go up, especially if you like playing light tanks like I do. But for me, all in all, it looks like a really good update. Very excited to hear a little bit more about it. I know they've put a lot of work into it. You know, how cinematic it is. Each story has it differs in the terms of how it looks, how it plays. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Very interested to see how they've reimagined historical events and historical battles. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. Hopefully you're looking forward to this as much as I am. Guys, please like and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. I will catch you next time, chaps.